Come on. I know how to introduce you to Mike. Mike sounds crazy. Microphone.
Oh, okay.
Microphone. Don't remember
Be
microphone.
who you. Sorry. Hey, and welcome to the Binge Box, where we share our thoughts on TV shows, friendships, relationships, and everything in between.
Join us as we binge on all the good stuff life has to offer. If you're new here, do us a favor, hit the subscribe button, hit that bell button. On today's episode, we're going to talk about vetting new people.
Trigger warning.
So, I was scrolling through Instagram and I saw a story of a Brooklyn party promoter that's been floating around. And if you guys know what I'm talking about, then you know I'm not going to go into full detail about it because that's just not what this is. But if you don't know, definitely Google it. So yeah, I was scrolling, saw this story, and I shared it. And it kind of led me to this idea that I feel like people don't vet their partners enough. And I honestly wish that we did that a little bit more. I've seen cases too many times where like things that could have been avoided just wasn't avoided out of people just doing things, trusting people way too soon and not taking the right precautions. So my question to you is, do you vet your partners?
I feel like I vet my partners.
Mm-hmm.
I do believe that you never really know someone, and people can put on facades and be this person that's great and amazing and turn out to be something that's completely opposite. So I feel like it is hard to really vet somebody. But I feel like I try to get to know someone enough before I start to really implement them into the real sacred and core parts of my life, like family and friends.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, I think I'll say I vet my partners.
Do you feel like it's something that's a custom, or do you feel like it's something that's like a rarity? Like more times than not, do you feel like people are actually vetting their partners, or do you feel like people are just doing their own thing?
I feel like everyone has their own definition of vetting their partners. That's one. Because I do feel like when you are getting to know someone, when you're in a talking stage, when you're courting someone, you're going on dates, and you're getting to know each other. To a lot of people, that is still vetting someone. Because at the end of the day, if I meet you today and we go on a date and we start to hang out and we talk, I'm low-key vetting you. I'm getting to know you. I'm starting to ask certain questions about certain things. I'm picking your brain because I'm trying to see the type of woman that you are.
Mm-hmm.
So I do feel like that is somewhat of vetting. I don't know if your definition of vetting is a bit more serious, maybe. But I do feel like when you're getting to know someone, it is a vetting process, nonetheless.
For sure. I think vetting for me definitely has levels. So yeah, in the courting stages, you are like just getting to know them, kind of like really figuring them out. The more that you get to know them, the more comfortable you get with them, then it's like, okay, who are you on a deeper level? Like really, how does your mind actually work? Like what are your deeper, most secretive, hidden thoughts that like might not be on the forefront initially? And then from there, it kind of goes into like, what are your actual moral practices? And like, how do you actually operate as a human being? And how do you portray yourself in this world? And how do you act with the people around you? Whether it be like close friends, family, or even strangers. But like, all of those are like different tiers to it.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah. I definitely go through each stage personally and just kind of like get my feel. I'm also just not really a like trusting kind of person. So I feel like that plays a little bit more of a role as to why I go through such lens.
But you take things slow as well. Like you're like a slow burn type of person.
For sure.
Because I do feel like with the vetting process, like a lot of times people that like to move fast or people that get infatuated or fall in love or like someone a lot really fast, you tend to trust them a lot more easier, especially because you're blinded by that initial infatuation where you might, you hear all the time, I miss all the red flags because I was too focused on maybe the one green flag. That does happen a lot of times too, where someone can have 10 red flags and one green flag, and you're so infatuated with the one green flag that you're just like going through every red light because you see the one green light. So I feel like so many things go into that vetting process that people do forget because they are caught up in the moment or caught up in what they want to see. People tend to sweep the little stuff that feel like they don't really care too much about under the rug.
The fairy
and only,
tale.
Yeah, and only hang on to like the one big thing where it's like, I want a man that's 6 feet tall. Find a man that's 6 feet tall, don't matter what else he do, he's 6 feet, so I'm gonna just run with that. I feel like people do that as well, and that's where you get caught up.
Do you feel like you're that kind of person where it's like you kind of got the rose colored glasses on, or do you feel like you're more of a like?
No, I don't wear glasses at all. I look at 2020. Like I'm looking straight at what it is because I don't play with certain stuff, and morals and who you are as a person means a lot to me because I pride myself in who I am.
Yeah.
And if someone's going to stand beside me, you better be on my level or better.
What does that mean?
I feel like I'm morally a good person. I feel like I hold myself in integrity. I feel like I carry myself a certain way. I do certain things. If I'm going to be with someone, you have to have those same qualities. The way I move, the way I act, I want you to have those core values within yourself if I'm going to be with you. If you don't have those, I'm not looking past that because you have this quality that I like. No, I need all of that. I feel like certain stuff are non-negotiables to me.
Yeah.
So yeah, I don't play about those stuff.
For sure. So do you feel like that's something that you've done like your whole life or throughout most of your relationships, or is it something you're more so getting into now?
No, I mean, I feel like just in my adolescent years, I probably looked past a lot of things just based on just being young and dumb and she's pretty or she makes me breakfast or she makes me dinner. I don't care about the rest of it.
Do you feel like you kind of learned over the years? Like,
yeah, just through self-growth, it's just taught me a lot to where I'm like, yo, I kind of know what I want. I'm not going to settle for anything else. And if you're not meeting me and having the things that I want, then you could go ahead. I used to always kind of be like, I want these 10 things, for example. And not to say I'm going to try to build a girl or giving you a criteria to be, but there's certain stuff that are non-negotiables for me. And I'm not going to settle for less. In the past, I'll be like, all right, if I had 5 non-negotiables, if you hit 3 of them, I'll take it. When it shouldn't be like that. I'm going to stand 10 toes down and on what I believe in and what I feel like I need for my life and what's going to make me happy.
Fair enough.
And what I want to be around, you know?
Yeah. I respect that. So, just going through this, I feel like, yeah, I've definitely done the same thing. Like, I've definitely learned from my mistakes, learned my lessons, gone through life, grown up, and like realized there's more to relationships than all these little things that we try to cling to. But I feel like there's so many women now that like I see kind of like just looking past these things. And more specifically, when I say women, I mean like single mothers especially. I feel like they have more responsibility to like weed out the bad. And I feel like in these days they kind of don't. And sometimes it's so lackluster that I just get so confused by the laziness, honestly, the carelessness, and like just selfishness, for lack of a better term. Because I feel like more times than not, when they do these things, they're not thinking of their children, they're just thinking of themselves. And yeah, it's just been a repetitive thing. I've noticed in my own like close circle, I want to say, where I've seen men interacting with single mothers, and it's like you find one after the next, after the next, after the next. And they're so open, they're so welcoming, they're so inviting. And it's just like, that's cool, that's great, that's fine, that's dandy. But you don't know this person. And you also don't know me. And me being on the outside of the relationship, furthermore, makes it even worse because it's like, I'm a complete stranger. Even if you saying that you're trying to trust this person, why do you also trust the people that this person is around? How do you know that them and all their people are also safe and comfortable for your kids to be around, like off bat? I don't really get it, but I just wanted to know, like, do you feel like that's the same thing with men in regards to single fathers?
No, not really.
Mm.
I do feel like there are a good amount of men that might view single mothers as potentially an easy target, I guess, just because they might just be looking for extra support in their life just because they're a single mother and they might want support. So,
What do you mean by easy target?
um, a single mother is not like a single woman, I guess, just because they have a child and they might be suffering from maybe trauma from a baby father that left them or whatever situation that they're going through. And a lot of times people do tend to try to prey on people that are going through stuff. It's a little easier to manipulate and wiggle your way through certain stuff when someone is a bit softer right now because they're going through something. And all you gotta do is put on an act and you'll seem like a knight in shining armor. Because an example to be if a single mother had a situation with their baby father and let's say he's not a good person and she hates him, me pretending to be a good person, it's going to be night and day. Makes it a little easier for me to slither my way in there, you know? With single fathers, I mean, I guess it can be somewhat of the same, but I do feel like women are a bit more like emotional, so I feel like acting on their emotion is just like they want maybe more love or they want someone to be there for them or treat them right or whatever. I feel like single fathers want the same thing, but I feel like single fathers might have a better vetting system just due to like just thinking a little bit more logically, maybe. Yeah.
Okay, fair enough. So I started doing some research and I was trying to figure out like what are ways for people to introduce their loved ones to their partners and like I guess make it a little bit more comfortable, especially when they have children involved. So I'm just gonna read out what I got so far. So the first one is to evaluate the relationship. Be certain about the stability and future of your relationship. Avoid introducing multiple partners to prevent confusion and emotional distress for children. Step 2 is to communicate with your ex. Inform your ex partner about your new relationship and discuss how and when to tell the children. This helps maintain a respectful co parenting dynamic. 3. Prepare your partner. Discuss your children's personalities, likes, dislikes, and any sensitive topics to avoid. Explain your parenting style and what to expect during interactions. Again, these are all like geared towards children, but this is just family in general. Like, don't just take it as how you have to respond to your kids, but also how you have to introduce them to like your parents or your siblings, anyone that you know is like super close to you that you just want to make sure that they have a good interaction. So number 4, plan the introduction. Keep the first meeting low key and brief. Opt for a casual setting like a park or a simple meal and avoid overnight stays or long outings initially. 5, respect the boundaries. Do not force affection between your partner and children. Allow children to warm up at their own pace and encourage simple, friendly greetings. 6, gauge readiness. Consider your children's emotional readiness and age. Older children might need more time and discussion to process the introduction. And 7, reassure and support. Reassure your children that your new partner is not a rival for your love and attention. Be honest about any changes and provide emotional support throughout the process. By taking these steps, you can create a supportive environment that fosters positive relationships between your new partner and your loved ones. So, my question to you is, how do you, I guess, introduce your partner to your loved ones?
In my experience, well, I feel like it all depends. Because I feel like in my experience, one, just living at home with my parents, it creates a different dynamic. I feel like it's a little different when you're fully established, you're on your own, you have your own spot, your partner might be at your spot. I'm going to take you to meet my parents. It's a little different. It's more of a formal, like, hey, we're going to have dinner with my girl or whatever. In my experience, just, I've had my parents meet people sometimes. My parents just come home and they're just there. Like, that's just been my experience sometimes because that's how.
So it wasn't intentional.
Sometimes it's been intentional. Sometimes it hasn't been intentional. It just all depends on the situation. Like, those situations that I just named were definitely unintentional. My mom come home. Mom, this is her, and her, this is mom.
Okay.
Other times it's been more so like, hey mom, I want to introduce you to my new partner. Have a little Sunday dinner or something like that. Something a little calm, nothing too long. Like, it's not gonna be no 7-hour meeting. A quick little eats or something like that, or
7 hours is insane.
Yeah, I mean, in the thing you said, it shouldn't be too long. So 7 hours will pop in my head. Or even just like a small little family gathering, a Thanksgiving dinner with the whole family, and it's like, hey, I'm gonna bring someone
for our first meeting. You're bringing them to the holiday dinner? Maybe
not Thanksgiving dinner, but it could be a gathering, a birthday or something like that. Yeah, I would do that.
Okay,
I'll do that. But just also, I guess me being young, and I guess I'm not with anybody. I haven't really introduced anybody to my family within the last few years. I feel like in the past, I was just do it all the time. Like, my parents,
right off the bat,
my parents met mad people. Not something I'm proud to say now, but yeah.
You said you're not proud to say that?
Yeah.
Why?
I feel like it's mad unnecessary. My parents met mad people, and I'm not with any of them now. So, what was the honest point?
I feel like most guys honestly don't introduce their partners to their parents. At least it's like you can meet the bros, but you can't meet the fam.
If you want to lay in my bed, you got to walk past the fam. You're gonna meet the fam. That's what it boiled down to. Maybe if I didn't live with my family, it would be different. Story. Yeah, but it was more so. I got respect. I'm not gonna just be hiding somebody walking into my house all the time. Like, I've been raised on respect. So if I'm gonna bring somebody to the crib, they gonna say good afternoon, good morning, good night. And if I'm having to walk by somebody, if they're gonna say good afternoon, I'm gonna say, hey, this is this and so and so. To the point where I've introduced people to somebody I just had a one two with. Just like, damn, I didn't think my parents was gonna be home. But since they're home, hey mom, this is so and so. And then as soon as I take them home, mom, don't
remember this person. They don't exist. You're not gonna see this person again. Don't even remember that face.
Yeah.
Okay, cool.
I've had that where it's like, yo, mom, I know how to introduce you to Mike. Mike sounds crazy. Microphone.
Oh, okay.
Microphone. Don't remember microphone.
Sorry.
Next question. Next question.
Not next question. Okay. That was a good one. You set yourself up for that, though. Okay. So I know we talked about like vetting partners, but do you also vet like friends, or is that like a different case by case type of thing? Or
I feel like I vet everybody that's in my life. If you're gonna be part of my life, I'm gonna vet you. And I feel like even growing up, you kind of had those friends. It was like, all right, this friend could come to the crib. These is my outside friends. Because I know these friends, my parents ain't going to really jack them, you know? Especially growing up in a Caribbean crib. You got, you got your more maybe American friends. And the American friends ain't going to be able to cut it in front of the Caribbean parents. You could bring a Caribbean friend home because they know how to code switch immediately and switch up and good afternoon, miss.
Yeah.
Good evening. Good night. You got the other friends that just walk in the crib and don't say a word. Those are the American friends.
That's the one you can't bring back.
Yeah, we still mans. We cool. We play ball. But am I gonna bring around the fam? Nah, because I've experienced it. I've had teammates like that, and nah. But I feel like I vet everyone that's in my life just because one, I ain't trying to get snaked.
Yeah.
So I'm trying to vet you. There's also, and I don't want to be around no weirdos. I don't want to be around nobody that's doing nothing crazy. Because at the end of the day, the people that are around you are a reflection of yourself as well.
For a fact.
And if I'm best friends with somebody and they out there doing this, that, you want to assume that I knew about it and I'm doing it too. So I'm going to make sure that the people I'm around, I'm betting them to know this is their body and they're people that I can be respected with.
Right. So what do you do in the case that you vetted them, they're cool, but then you find something out that you don't really like, something that's not really good, something that don't really look good on the books? How are you operating?
How severe is it? I know it's hypothetical, but how severe is it?
Okay, so I was having a conversation with a friend the other day, and essentially he was saying, like, if he had a friend that got accused of assaulting someone or I don't want to say the word, but yeah, like he wouldn't want to be associated with this person at all and probably like cut them off. So my question to you would be like, in that same case scenario, how would you operate? And it's a case where it's like, you don't know for sure, but all clues lead to it probably happened.
That's a tough question, because accusations are accusations, and people are falsely accused all the time. I feel like I have to be in that situation to really give you a real answer, because I'm also a loyal person as well. And if you're really my people, and let's say you genuinely didn't do it, like, that'd be messed up for me to leave you all alone. Like, that's messed up too, you know?
So what if you found out that they actually did do it? Then what? How do you respond?
Then I'm definitely gonna distance myself for sure. Yeah.
Okay.
How about you?
For me, I'm always like, I don't know. I think sometimes my moral compass is like,
are you snitching on them?
Too high sometimes. I don't necessarily want to say I'm snitching, but depending on the situation, like I'm probably going to call it out. I'm just that type of person where it's like, if I see something that's wrong, it really doesn't matter like who the person is. Like it could literally be one of my parents. Like if I know that the situation is not right, I'm just going to say it's not right. Like I don't have favoritism. I'm not biased in any case or form in that sense. So it's just like, it is what it is. If you did something that you shouldn't have done, I'm going to call it like it is, let you know that it was wrong. If something needs to happen, then I'm going to more so aid you to like fess up to it, or like, you know, hold yourself accountable. Yeah. And then if I didn't see that they were trying to like right their wrongs, then maybe I would snitch. Who knows? It depends on the situation though. Like if it was a very severe situation, I probably would though. Honestly, that's just my honest truth.
Just protect yourself at all times.
Absolutely. What do you mean by that? Are you threatening me?
No, I'm not threatening you. You just talking about snitching on somebody, so I'm telling you to protect yourself.
That's crazy.
Snitches get stitches. That's it.
Not stitches.
I don't want you to snitch and then get a stitch, you know?
Yeah, no.
That's all.
If it's something that's really not super detrimental, then it's really not my business. But like I said, if it's something more severe, when it comes to like abuse, sexual, physical, whatever type of abuse, I'm a little bit more adamant about that, just because it's something a little more personal to me, maybe. Yeah, I think that's pretty much why. Like, if I know that I've experienced that and I know how it is to be on the other end of it, I'm more so like, I'd rather justice be served. But even not just like to me personally, it's just like, I don't want other people to have to experience this thing or have to be tortured with it. So yeah, that's really it, the basis of it. If it's something detrimental,
gotcha.
Yeah, I'm not just out here snitching on everybody.
Yeah, no, I could respect that. So, I know I said earlier that you never truly know somebody That's how I feel. You agree with that?
Mm-hmm.
So, like, if that's the case, is there like a level that you feel like, all right, I'm okay with knowing somebody this much and I can trust them now? Like, you feel like it's like a certain point you get to? Because if you never feel like you could trust anybody, you get married, it's like, yeah, this is my husband or my wife. I don't really trust them fully because
Mm-hmm.
you don't fully know somebody. What gets you to that point where it's like, all right, I can trust this person. I know this person enough to really be like, I can let my guard down or even marry this person or feel comfortable knowing like, I think they're all right.
Okay, so are we just talking about partners or in general?
You could do both.
Okay, so like I'll start with friendships because you obviously have experienced me like letting my walls down in a sense and how like the process of it. But normally with friendship, in general, I take pretty long to open up. But once I have certain conversations and once I kind of get to know somebody a little bit deeper, like I said, when I get to know the like inner workings of the person, their morality, just the way they operate, the way that they treat people around them, like if they're genuinely a good person, in my opinion, because I can't just say they're a good person and just have that as a flat out rule entirely, because
Mm-hmm.
they might not be a good person to somebody else. But for me, um yeah, whatever I witness around them, around the people that they claim to love, around their family, their other friends, how they treat other strangers, how much they share, how much they communicate, like how open they are. I feel like I'm definitely the person where it's like I wait to open up until the other person opens up. Like once I know that they're comfortable and they're safe in my space, then it kind of gives me a little bit more room to be safe because it's like, okay, if you're sharing certain things with me, maybe I can share certain things with you. And that's not outright either. It's more so like, I don't know. It's just a feeling.
So you need them to take the
I
first step.
definitely spit. I'm going to say that again because I just spit. It's definitely a feeling. So yeah.
So you need them to take the first step.
In a sense, yes.
So what would happen if you meet an exact copy of yourself? Yeah, just knock on.
We don't interact. I have met a copy of myself and it didn't go so well.
Okay.
But I also feel like that's kind of the point of like the saying opposites attract. And so it's like it's never going to work out with somebody who's also closed off. Even though it could, who knows, maybe one person decides to bring their walls down. But for the most part, you need the balance.
You need to have someone that's a little bit more open to open you. Like, I gotta have some similarities, but then have some differences to make it work.
For sure.
Yeah.
Sure. When it comes to partners though, even with like deciding to like get married, I know I'm still gonna be that person texting my partner the day before, like, yo, we still on? Or I gotta hit the road or what's happening? Like, I'm definitely gonna be that person, but I try to put my like trust issues behind me. I don't let it outweigh my decisions and be like, oh, I'm just not going to do this. It's more so like, I'm going to do it. I'm going to be apprehensive. I might take my slow time, but I'm going to get there eventually.
Okay.
Yeah.
I could respect that. Mm-hmm. And your partner will respect that too. So
yeah,
that's
if they vibe with me, then they'll should already know what it is and be like accustomed and like comfortable with it.
Yeah. No, that's also what's going to help it make the process easier when somebody could just respect how you move and understand like this is how I am.
Yeah. And it's not personal at all. It's just more so like
it's a mutual respect and a mutual understanding, and that's where love comes in when you're willing to really be like, all right, like this is how you want it to be, and I understand why, so I'm going to help you and give you the support and the aid in your process.
For sure.
Yeah.
For sure. Do you feel like you open up a little bit more quickly, or do you feel like you also kind of take your time to get to that point before you trust people?
I feel like I have a balance of both. Mm-hmm. I do feel like it depends on the vibe I do get from you, whether or not I'm going to open up or not. But also, I'm just very much like, my life's an open book. Like, the intricate details I won't give out, but like certain stuff I could tell anybody. It don't really bother me, just because it is what it is. But the more you get to know me, I feel like the deeper stuff that really affect me is probably what takes time to come out. But like surface level stuff, or what I consider surface level, because a lot of times the stuff that I consider surface level, other people don't consider surface level. Like, to me, my love life is surface level, honestly. To other people, their love life is the deepest thing to them. So for me, I'll share my surface level stuff, but my deep stuff I keep until I know, like, all right,
this is a safe space.
Yeah, like, you're not going to use this against me. You're not going to hold it over my head. You're not going to throw it back at me the next time we get into an argument, or the next time there's a disagreement. You're not going to weaponize my insecurities, weaponize my pains, weaponize the things that I've told you in confidence against me. I have to make sure that I feel safe enough. And I can still feel safe, and it could still get weaponized, thrown back at me.
Definitely.
But I'm trying to take every necessary precaution to make sure it doesn't happen.
Yeah.
Because I've been a person that has had certain stuff weaponized and thrown at me. So it definitely has made me become more precautious to that action. But in life, you gotta take risks too at the end of the day. And if you just have your walls up 24/7, 365 days, no one's ever
get anywhere.
Yeah. You're never gonna accomplish anything. You're never gonna get to open up to somebody. And it's the only person that's really hurting and the only person that's really losing is you. Yeah. At the end of the day. Because, like, you know, we're put on this earth to interact. We're put on this earth to really open up to people. Not everyone, but someone.
Heavy on not everyone.
Yeah. So.
Yeah. Oddly enough, I feel like I'm very similar in that sense, where it's like, I am an open book to a degree with the surface level stuff. Like, if you ask me a question and we're just chapping our gums, like, I'm definitely open to sharing. I think it's more so when people like pry. And it's like, you're trying to get a little bit too much information out of me. Like, I give you an inch, you try to take a mile. Like, just relax. Let me, like, share and be open and, like, let it be that. But, yeah, when you start doing too much, I'm like, all right, relax.
Nosy people. Nosy people. I know.
Heavy on nosy people.
Those are the ones you gotta watch.
What?
Those are the ones you gotta watch. For
sure. Those are the main ones, because they're plotting. They're literally plotting. I feel like usually when people are like that, they're like, okay, I'm going to just store this in the bank. This is in a black book for that one time where you decide to mess with me, and I'm going to just F up your whole life. That one time you piss me off.
Or even people just use it because they can use it to just finagle their way into your heart. Like, I feel like it's so many ways people can weaponize
manipulation.
Yeah, manipulation. There's so many ways, because it's not even always just weaponizing it and throwing it right back in your face. Because sometimes it could be something as small as, if you open up to me and tell me, let's say you were upset that somebody didn't get you flowers, I'm gonna store that. Pop up flowers next week. Now I look like the greatest thing since sliced bread. It's still manipulation.
See, my brain naturally like catches that though. Like, I'm not going to say it. I'm the type that I'm definitely not going to bring it up, but I know it in the back of my mind. Like, I know you're love bombing me. That's what you're doing. That's what it's giving. You heard what I said, and it's cute that you heard what I said. You're listening, but for what reason? Like, what's the motive behind it? And then I kind of like wait it out and kind of figure out what the motive is over time.
Yeah, because sometimes the motive is pure. Yeah. Sometimes it's hard to really, especially in the moment, it's hard to tell which one it is. Because some people are just genuine and some people aren't genuine, and it's hard to really
tell which is which.
They all wear the same clothes.
Exactly. So, literally.
You don't know who's who.
Literally.
That's one of those ones that just takes time. Like, over time, the disingenuous people can't keep up because it's not in their nature. So eventually you figure it out. But
that's a fact. That is a fact. Fake friends are going to show. Fake relationships are going to show. I feel like people always tell on themselves eventually. Like, as much as they try to hide, they could be the best liar in the world, but eventually something is going to show for itself. It's just up to you to, like, decide to see it for what it is and not pretend that it's something else.
No, true. Yeah. Because a lot of times people get reality checks and just feel like it's not a reality check. And just be like, no, that's nothing. That's nothing. That don't mean nothing. Nah,
that was just a one time. They're not gonna do that to me. Why would they do that?
That'd be the delusions. That'd be the delusions, man. So,
have you been delusional?
Oh, very much. I've been delusional for. I'm 25. I'll be 26 on Monday. I've been delusional for like 23 to 24 of those years on this planet, you know. But sheesh. Sometimes, you know, my frontal lobe fully formed, and that's what really got me to that non-delusional state. Yeah, you know?
I'm proud of you. Welcome.
Have you ever been delusional?
Unfortunately, I would say yes. It's not something that happens very often, but when it does, it is not a great thing. I think the issue for me is, like I said, because I don't trust very easily. When people build up that trust and they get to a certain point, I kind of just be like, they already earned it. They already earned my trust. So they're not going to do anything to fuck it up. My guard is down. And then they do something to fuck it up. And then I'm like, damn, that's why the fuck you don't trust people. There you go. But I'm going to keep trusting, trying to trust at least.
Right. You better than me. You better than me. I don't trust a damn soul.
It's hard out here. It's hard.
For a fact.
But like you said, sometimes you got to take risks in life. So.
No, you got to risk it for the biscuit. Point blank, period.
For sure. So that is all for today's video, guys. Thank you so much for watching. Don't forget to like, comment, share, and subscribe. And what else they got to do?
If you have any questions or any new topics you want us to discuss on the pod, please email us at thebingeboxpod@gmail.com. Don't forget to follow us on Instagram, on TikTok, on Twitter or X, whatever you want to call it, at the Binge Box Pod, and we'll catch you in the next one. Happy binging.
Happy binging.